I'm on a quest to find literally the worst disc that's ever been created, and I think I have a good contender here. I pulled it out of a mystery box that Trash Panda gave me for a series that we're doing every month, and this was my first throw-in reaction to it. What the heck was that? This is the Franklin Discs RT Albatross. They call it a 160 gram driver, and driver might be true, but also generous. Because look at this thing. It's literally like a UFO, and it is probably the thinnest disc that I've ever held. I have very small hands, if you guys know the channel, at least pretty small hands. And this thing, like on a forehand, you can see part of my middle finger sticking up. That's not supposed to happen. It doesn't happen on any other disc. You see, I have 3 discs here. I have this Franklin Disc Albatross, which first throw out the car. We're just gonna put it on so much hyzer and like 30 to 40% super smooth. So we got a nice little cut roller there. To give a comparison, I don't even know the flight numbers on that. Doesn't quite matter, especially with a disc that dumb that shouldn't even have them. Shouldn't even be a disc, but I have a DX Beast that I found somewhere, no name or number, that I was never planning on using. But this is how a beat up DX Beast flies at the same power. Much more gentle turn to the right. Still turns into a pretty decent roller, but that's like gonna be the flippiest disc ever. And then this is like the flippiest thing I would even consider bagging, a Prodigy F9, and this is how this thing flies. I'm not throwing hard at all, but all these things are flipping up, turning. The F9 is gonna come back. Maybe that's why it's like basically my roller disc. Honestly, I just wanted an excuse to put the F9 in a video, because today we're gonna be playing 9 holes to see if it is literally the worst disc that's ever been created. If you think that there's one that's worse by the end of this video, put it in the comments, and the top liked comment will be next month's worst disc ever video. The only stipulation here is before I leave today, whether it's in the 9 holes or not, I have to get a birdie with the Albatross. I'm literally committed to being here all freaking day if I can't birdie with this thing, but I'm hoping that like that shot shape is good enough for 1 hole, and I have to use it outside of circle 1. But the F9 is like probably the flippiest thing that I would even consider bagging. And you saw how much more overstable it looked than those other discs. But real quick, if you guys didn't know about how discs are made, there's typically, it's not how every company makes it, but you'll see like a line in the middle of the rim of most discs. That's because there's a bottom mold and a top mold that they smush together. And that line, they call the parting line. The lower the parting line is to the ground, or like if you put it flat on a table, the lower the parting line is to the table, the more understable a disc. So if you just look at one, this one doesn't even look like it has a parting line. And so this one looks like it's basically flat. This one has some sort of a parting line, even though it's super, super low. And that's also why discs become more understable as time goes on, because typically as it hits more things, the parting line drops slightly. All right, hole 1, straight ahead here. I think it's about 300 feet. It's a good one for something this flippy that I can probably just rip it on a ton of hyzer, like 45 degrees that way, and it'll turn over. I'm gonna have to throw it high, because the higher and more nose up, the less it's gonna really turn and burn. But we'll see if we can even do anything with this. Oh my gosh. That went like 100 feet. Okay, I'm gonna need to try to like really slow down my arm and increase the spin. Hey, that'll be a fun little challenge in and of itself. Sheesh, these things are flippy. Now, I do know that there is one shot shape that you might be able to try with a disc like this. That's called a skamahawk. Basically, you throw a big anhyzer, and do you see how much this thing is flipping when I throw a spike hyzer with it? So if I throw it on an anhyzer, it might flip literally all the way over and start panning a specific direction. I have no idea how to do that. I want to try it before the end of this video, but I texted Simon Lazat to see if he had any tips about it. I'm not confident that he'll get back with me about that because it's kind of super random, but if he does, we'll definitely implement some of those tips and try to throw one. I mean, either way, we'll try to throw one, but probably just be better if we had tips from Masta. I was thinking about forehanding this, and I will at some point. I've really got to somehow slow down the arm a lot. That is craziness. Skip into circle 1, please. I think that's just on the edge of circle 1. I also do know that this might be something that we see on tour next year because Gannon hasn't signed with anybody yet, or hasn't announced a re-up with Prodigy or signing with anybody. And he was talking Franklin up pretty big on the Nick and Matt show recently, so he might be going to Franklin. We might see the Albatross make its H7-ish roller debut. Maybe. Unless we get a Franklin Disc World Championships. A lot of companies are making those. Maybe Franklin's gonna make an Albatross Worlds. I wonder how this compares to a 127 gram F7 that Alden's always throwing. Hopefully if I do get to play some tour stops next year, I can play around against him. Hopefully not at a tour course though, we would die. So I really just wanna like throw a big Sky Annie here. I'll throw the F9 first and show you kind of like what I would do. Whereas with something even this flippy, thing is still so flippy. Okay, it's good up there. It's a little short. It's so hard to throw these super flippy guys. I think with this one, because of how fast it turns, yeah, I honestly don't even know what to do. Try to like really pop the nose up, maybe. Really, really nose up. Oh my. Yeah, roll to the basket. That just gets so stupid. That's crazy. I was honestly thinking about playing an 18 hole for one of these videos. I'm 2 holes in and I'm very glad I'm not doing that. See, even the F9, throwing it flat out there, I really should have popped some hyzer on it so I could like power up a little bit more, get a similar shape. And I don't know what to do with this thing. I don't know if like, I need to literally pop the nose as down or as up as possible, like throw it like this almost to get it to not flip. Next hole is gonna be a good like actual birdie chance if we throw the same shot shape, which is like the stupid quick flip, spike hyzer into a roller that goes 95,000 feet right. Why not? Super nose up. I don't know if we got it there. So surprised if you guys put in the comments a disc that you actually think is worse than this thing. We're also still outside the circle. Not by much though. You see that full flex putt there? I was worried if I put any more in it, it's gonna just burn over. I might have to aim left of the basket and throw a hyzer putt. I'm gonna have to put you behind me every time because these side angles, this thing is crazy. All right, I don't know if anything other than a roller is feasible for this. I was honestly hoping this is in a longer position because it's maybe push back another 60 feet and I feel comfortable just rolling this out there. Here it's kind of an in-betweener where I kind of want to just give it a really soft hyzer. Maybe standstills to play with this guy. Aim that way. Oh my gosh. Roll to the basket. Come on, please. If that's in circle 1, I'll be so stoked because I'll actually have a birdie look. It's 25 degrees of hyzer, slightly nose up, 30 degrees that way, and it turns into a roller within 120 feet. See, look at that. You throw it at 16% and it's gonna not burn over. Oh my gosh, do it. Do it. Oh, it's so deep. It's another one where I think it's just borderline out. We can somehow get a par round. Oh, this is pretty close. This might be in, but if it's borderline, I'm gonna putt with the Albatross. Aim left. No! I thought I made it. And then that really took off some speed. This was the one where I'm like, okay, if I can get out of here in 9 holes today by birdieing this hole, I'll be stoked. Because the rest of these, I mean, all of them are probably, there's a potential to get them. I just have to know how to throw them right. But this was the one that I'm like, okay, I have a potential birdie, especially after watching the flight of how it flew on that first throw. I was like, oh, that shapes up perfectly for this hole. And then I didn't trust it. I think it just feels so weird to throw. Like if my target is here, it feels so weird to line up and throw here. It's like, what the heck am I doing? So I'm thinking I might have been slightly off about the Skamahawk. No, because it's the Sky Anhyzer into a Tomahawk, which a Tomahawk, when you throw it, it's gonna flip and go to the left, I believe, because thumbers wanna finish right. So if you throw it on Anhyzer, it's gonna pan out, flip underneath itself, and go back left. The other shot shape that I didn't even think about is a grenade, where if you throw the grenade, a flippy disc on a grenade is gonna flip and then come back right. So those might be a couple shot shapes that we try, because they might, similar to how like on a regular flippy disc, like a F9, you throw a lot of hyzer on it, it's gonna give it more time to stand up and like go straight on a path, turning right, coming back left. That might give it more time to actually be in the air instead of turning into the dumbest roller that you've ever seen in your life. All right, I think this is the last really good chance we have. We have this hole straight there, and then we have a 390-foot hole that has no line, 350-foot hole, 340-foot hole, 400-foot hole, 300-foot hole. So I have to really get this one to get out of here in these 9 holes. Over this tree on Anhyzer, it'll flip and go back that way, I think. What? Go back left. That did go dead straight though. Because I think instead of doing just the spike hyzer turn, it just rolled over. And I have no idea how to throw that shot. All right, this is interesting because this is a distance that I feel like I could just pitch this under the basket and get on to the next. But I really want a birdie. Little pitch throw. Wow, that is so flippy. I feel like I'm gonna get my bag after this and like feel like I'm the weakest person alive. I'll be so glad when I don't have to throw this again. Luckily, it was given in that Trash Panda box, meaning it's going back to be recycled by Trash Panda. I know this is a perfectly good disc. Well, debatable. But a part of me hopes that it gets turned into a good disc instead of going to like a U-play and making the kids think that this is what disc golf is. It'd be so sad. Disc golf would never grow. That would be like, slow the sport, baby. Jeez. This honestly might just be a fun line here to see like, if I throw this F9 through this small gap, flip it, turn it, and maybe I can get it there. It's a really tough shot. This is probably the hardest shot on the course. And with this disc, it's basically impossible. Wow. Whew. All right. I'm literally I'm throwing the F9 as if it was this thing with like how flippy it is. So I forgot that like the F9 is really flippy, but not like this. So hyzer flip around this tree, very similar line. It's gonna get back to the other side and roll up to the basket and we'll get a birdie here. First part, oh my gosh. Okay, I think I can only make circles because I threw that like this and it flipped up, and before it got to the ground, it was on this angle. So it turned into like the opposite of a cut roller. The fact that I'm still somehow only 1 over right now is a little mind-blowing. Get around it. No, that had a better flight though. I really made sure to like pop it like a really like one of these shots, like a little nose up staller that you shank into trees. I'm getting a little bit of hope back that this disc is learnable. It's not just impossible. It is maybe the worst disc ever, but anything that has like some sort of gyroscopic stability, you can work it, you know? That's all I'm saying. Hey, we found a way to get it online. Holy cow. I will say, if you guys want to turn this series into finding the worst disc from like a mainstream company, I would not hate you for it. So make sure that that top like comment is maybe one of those. I don't know. We'll throw the F9 again. This shot I think is about 350, maybe a little shorter. Say park it with like a normal disc. Now we'll throw the Albie boy. I was about to say, I wish there was a way to throw like this, and there is. Well, how do you throw like this? Like upside down. Could try a grenade, but I'm really bad at those. Some sort of forehand. All right, we're just gonna try to go super nose up. Get around the mando at least, and don't curve back around it. Oh man. My stipulations for getting a birdie is you have to at least change the hole that you're on. So like, I'm not gonna have to play these holes again because that would be miserable, and there's literally no chance unless I throw it in. And even then, I don't think I can get it in the air more than 200 feet. I think this will be the first big test of just like popping the nose up. Okay, we got it to fly when we didn't use our body at all. We just popped the nose up and we parked it. That is really nice. Still not even closer than the F9's drive, dude. That was buttery. We'll say though, this Prodigy F9, I got it in that Foundation Mystery Box video, which you should go watch if you haven't after this one. And this is one of the most fun discs that I've thrown ever. And also kind of funny because the glide number on it, which, you know, flight numbers don't matter. I kind of am a sucker for flight numbers, but the glide number there, it's a 6, but it looks like an 8. So I like to think that it's 88 negative 4 0.5. And the 0.5 is generous. All right, hanging out at 2 over here does not feel terrible with this thing. This one's like 320 feet, I think, maybe. I think this might be one where I try to just like throw that same big anhyzer shot that I did over that tree. Might actually get some of the distance there. It flipped all the way over and skipped on its side there, but I think no matter what, if I try to throw that thing hard, that's as far as it's gonna get. It just like, doesn't even have backhand torque resistance. Let me see if I can get the pure there, why not? Oh my gosh, that's money. All right, we'll try the grenade shot on the next hole just to see kind of how that one flies with something this flippy. I'm honestly wondering if it needs to be a little flatter because this thing has a lot of dome. I guess it makes it like really overstable because now the party line is super high when it's going through the air that way. Whereas if it was like very flippy, but like completely flat, which there are discs that are like that. I think like the D-Line FD is one of those, which is what Simon used to throw a lot of Skamahawks with, or maybe not a lot, but some. But like those ones, if they're flat, once they get on this edge, it's still cutting through the air. Instead of this one, it got down, but once it kind of got towards this edge, it just kind of dived to the ground. Throw a little finessey forehand here into a headwind. Why does the wind changing so much on me? Cart roll to the basket, come on. Yes, thank goodness. No, I don't know where it went, but I hope it's in the circle. All right, shout out this pure shot, let's go. 2 holes to go. Really only one more birdie opportunity. But if this grenade turns out to be the right shot for the hole, it could be a win. Ooh, the one after this one might be a really good super hyzer forehand, flip up, roll over left. Ooh, we might be able to birdie the last hole. All right, now Trevor got a lot of flack for the way he threw that grenade in that foundation video, where he was throwing them basically just like backhands, which I think is technically a grenade, but the spirit of a grenade is definitely low to high. I think this rim, like in this grenade grip here, I might have to like do the weird thumb one, which really hurts my thumb, because look at where my finger is on that. You can see literally half of my, you could see where it splits my finger literally in half. Sorry I was flipping you off there, but if you don't like the video, you deserve it. Not actually, don't worry. The thumb one, oh, it's equally as bad. Okay, well, double bad grenade. What? Oh, that's cool. Is it gonna get another flight over there? I hope the camera caught all that. What the heck was that? Okay, so I threw the grenade straight ahead. It flipped up, rode, got back onto a cut angle, and flipped again. That was the coolest shot ever, but it hurt really bad. This is just a bunch of hyzer, kind of aiming a little left of the basket. It's gonna flip and ride. There's an F9. Oh my gosh. Oh man. There you go. A little bit of wind and you actually put some power into one. I'm glad to know I'm not a baby right now, because I thought I was a little bit of a baby. Also, in case it wasn't obvious, I'm forcing myself to throw the worst this has ever been created. We're not playing the obese, baby. No chance. I think I might've got this thing over 300 feet with that like crazy roll stuff. Oh my, cart roll to the basket. I guess that's my play today. I think my optimism about being able to learn something with this disc was a little too optimistic. I think it just sucks. I genuinely don't think that there is a stupider disc out there than that disc. I can't bring myself to believe it. I'd be so impressed if you're able to, oh, I'm not even in the circle, great. I'd be so impressed if you're able to find a disc that was worse than that. And for me, like worst, a lot of times comes down to like being so flippy, because when something's so stable, like if I throw it with a good amount of power, it's gonna get there. Like Drew Gibson made like a, hey, all the best selling putters on Infinite like 2 years ago, and he threw a Stego 370 feet. And like the Stego is basically the most overstable disc you can find. So you can just like power up on those. With something that's stupid flippy, it's like hard to bring yourself to like throw it short enough. And it's like, I think the most flippy disc in the world is going to go significantly less far than the most stable disc in the world, I think. If I make this putt, I wish we could count it as a birdie, but a par will be fine. I'm aiming at the left side of the cage. Are you kidding? Did you see that? I literally aimed at the leftmost chain and a hyzer flipped. At least I can putt today. This is kind of nice. All right, last hole in the true 9 to get the birdie. I think it is possible, but it's like 280 feet and it is wooded. So we'll have to find a way to finesse it up there. If we can hit this right, we can birdie this hole. But the forehand grip on this thing is awkward. Okay, I armed that a little too much. We do have a gap that's kind of squared up for us. Pump a little forehand hyzer, flip it through the gap, throw it in. If I throw this in, I better be at 50,000 subs tomorrow. Appropriate. Oh, almost snuck out. I would guess that the speed or the flight numbers on this, if I had to give them some, were dumb, and dumber. But actually, it's weird because it feels skinnier than even like a leopard, but it's bladed. So I would say 5.5 speed, maybe 5.25. 2 glide, maybe. It's not glide even though it's unstable. -5, kind of like a Mamba. 0, maybe -6. You can like almost turn it upside down though. I literally care 0% about how much I'm abusing this disc. I know it's Jesse's over at Trash Panda, but like, freaking deserves it. It's also part of the recycling program, so it's not the end of the world. You just try to give it enough. Maybe just stay leaned over a bit more. Get over it. That's a look, that's a look. All right, I'm not even gonna like try to pretend anything because that's somehow rolled like up this way, I guess. I don't know how I just threw away past that basket. I'm gonna try to get the nose a little more down and like maybe give it an ace run. I don't think it's gonna happen, but. What is this golf? Yep, that might do it. Keep going. Go, 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 go. Not even close. So I got a text back from Simon. I don't know how helpful it's gonna be. Any tips on throwing a Skamahawk? Throw hard and high. I mean, fair, valid. You know what, we're gonna try. I really wanna get one to go. I do think it needs to be a flatter disc though. I might need to make a video of just like doing some crazy utility weirdo shots that I don't like or know how to throw, like thumbers, tomahawks, Skamahawks, grenades. Learn all that crap with this that actually makes sense instead of trying to force it with the worst disc. But yeah, I think we're just gonna throw the simple roller on this hole right now. Get the birdie, get out of here, start enjoying my day, you know? Shout out to Simon for texting me back though. Good. Yep, now just curl up. Oh, we parked it. We learned something today. Everybody came together for a good time. Put your suggestions in the comments and the most liked one. Not the one that I like the most, but the one that has the most likes. No matter what it is, I'll do a review on it. Even if it's a good disc, I'm gonna title the video, The Worst Disc Ever Made with that thing. And it's probably gonna be not that if it's not the worst disc ever. So don't troll me. I'm gonna ace it real fast and then we'll go tap in that birdie. Please fade. Ooh, that thing goes so far. Oh, this is a beautiful sight to walk up to right now. Look at that park job. That's kind of a perfect little roller too. Not that I ever use it for that. Peace, love you, bye.